taken. Maybe Diego will be tasked with that and representing the German organization, the Big Clan. It is the biggest man in StarCraft 2. ShoWTimE. Maybe not bigger than Gabe.
And on the bottom right, playing for Team NV, it is Creator. GSL finalist.
GSL finalist indeed.
Ewoks.
You found them.
I knew instantly where they were.
Very nice. They're dead though right now. They're like not moving or anything. I guess because there's no light on them, right? Like their fire
we
is
need
working.
vision. Yeah.
Their
if we ever get
working.
vision, then they'll start dancing.
Okay, okay.
There's even one down there
Oh, I see him.
eating some marines.
Yeah.
They're brutal. They're cute but brutal, man.
I guess so. I mean, their campfire seems to be working just fine. But they are kind of just not, right? They're quantum physics-based Ewoks. They need some sort of consciousness on top to come alive.
Schrodinger's Ewok. And actually, Creator with a much faster second gas than ShoWTimE. Kind of reminds me of our PvP from yesterday. Is it Nightmare and Zaun, I think, or something?
Nightmare versus a Shaun. Yeah,
Where
that
we
was a
saw
pretty good one.
Yeah, similar interactions here. One person is just going to end up having a bit more gas than the other. But the premise is the same. They both send their scouts after the gateway to try and block each other's nexus. And yeah, basically end up forcing a zealot on both sides to kill the pylon. The difference is that Creator actually let the pylon finish.
Yeah.
ShoWTimE canceled his.
Yeah, and I think ShoWTimE's gonna be a little bit happier with that, right? Because neither player really has the money to invest further, as Creator is going to double down on this, and that makes it a little bit more worthwhile, especially seeing as how ShoWTimE is going for an adept and not a stalker. That would be able to take this down a little bit quicker. Maybe the probe should start contributing there with its little taser, as this is definitely gonna delay ShoWTimE's expansion by a little bit. There it is.
Yeah, but I think ShoWTimE still wants to use his resources to build a unit from his Stargate first.
Now
so
he does,
it's not
for
gonna
sure.
matter that much.
Yeah, I mean he'll double down on that. He ends up making a Stalker and a Phoenix of all units. So probably gonna send it right across the map to scout right away, anticipating that his opponent could also be going for a Stargate and maybe trying to get the upper hand against an Oracle opening. But I think Oracle would have been much better for ShoWTimE here.
Yeah, keep in mind that ShoWTimE actually scouted the Stargate, and Creator canceled the Stargate and built the Twilight instead.
Yeah.
So mind games already being pulled off here. ShoWTimE is of course gonna scout this Twilight with the Phoenix instantly, so he knows that Dark Shrine could be a possibility. The question is he gonna scout for proxies? How much does he suspect this? Depth is dead. So he's gonna need the Stalker to be able to defend.
He will be fine. Sure. 2 shield batteries are now finishing. Creator trying to find the timing here, but it's gonna be a door closed. The Zealot shouldn't go down. Maybe pull it back. Not even necessary. And ShoWTimE will scout the natural expansion, or their lack of natural expansion from Creator, which is really nice. ShoWTimE thinks that this is primarily a gateway attack, though, as he triples down on the shield batteries. I mean, I don't know that he needed to do that. This shield battery will end up making the Stalker survive and baits effectively Creator to commit further with his own Stalker. And that's a death sentence for that one. Another suicidal Stalker here, trying to get the Stalker of ShoWTimE. Very greedy from Creator. The only problem for ShoWTimE, detection.
Yeah, he does have a Robo, but he is opting to make an Immortal instead of an Observer first. So the DT still have a lot of potential to do damage. This is kind of scary. I mean, Observers, they build extremely fast. So it all comes down to how soon he sees that little blip of invisible unit in his natural. Or
it's
I guess
more about the main.
Yeah,
I mean, in the natural, it's always walled off to where he would have time for the Observer. It's the main that he's going to have to evacuate as soon as possible. Opens the door for the DT in the natural. That doesn't matter too much. Going to force field it up the ramp, actually, or down the ramp, to make sure that his probes are protected from 2 prongs at least. And he should be able to stabilize here, ShoWTimE, but a lot of mining time lost. 5 probes do go down. So where he had any advantages, I think they're mostly gone at this point.
At least that is going to trigger him to go look for that proxy. He is going to find it. One Void Ray should not be able to beat 2 Stalkers.
With a Phoenix, I think surely you destroy them.
That is true, actually. Maybe if he... I guess he is afraid of more Stalkers being out on the map.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah. He also doesn't know how far off Blink is from being done.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect him for being a little bit cautious here. He is not that behind economically, so this is definitely a playable position for him. But maybe a bit too safe for the DM hour here.
But that's kind of the classic ShoWTimE, right? Like he is the best at absorbing pressure. So that is exactly what he's gonna try to do. His defense not as tidy as possible. Like one very uncharacteristic move, if anything, this game was the fact that he didn't get an observer before getting that immortal. So really a gross misread of the situation where he thought it's definitely a big gateway commitment on the side of Creator, and it wasn't so. But that put aside, it's been pretty smooth sailing.
Big pick-off, actually. He is going to be forced to make another observer, of course. He needs to have 2. One for his defense and one for his army in case of those DTs. So yeah, another way those Dark Shrines can actually net you an income advantage, just forcing resources out of your opponent and making them a bit paranoid all the time in terms of detection.
Definitely. So annoying DTs as now the Ewoks are flying and dancing thanks to that Phoenix. Having a party. Love to see it. It's a great dance. They remind me of Nice Username has a similar dance that he likes. He does that. All right.
He does the Ewok dance?
He really does, yeah. But unconsciously, like he's just starts like swinging from side to side. It's really enchanting. But yeah, I mean, the Mauer is gonna break out of his base here, looking for a 3rd base. He does have a sizable army here with the Immortal. Should be able to secure this, as the pylon will shortly thereafter enable a shield battery on that location. A lot of Stalkers gonna blink onto the Immortal, actually, and that's maybe too much. ShoWTimE can't really retreat easily here. He's just kiting back and trying to do as much damage as he can, but he wishes he could disengage from this. And the Immortal being taken down, the shield battery not being up, the Void Ray not being on location makes things very difficult. At least he manages to take down the War Prism, but it's not going to be enough. And Creator, with a swift, quick, and unexpected ending to this game, pouncing on the one window of time, I mean, a very short window of time where ShoWTimE was going to be a little bit weak there.
That was so decisive, and the focus fire was just so good. That was really impressive, actually.
Absolutely lovely.
It looked kind of dicey at the start when he sacrificed 2 Stalkers, but it also felt like he was kind of distracting ShoWTimE from the real issue at hand, which was the DT follow-up that was coming. And it worked out okay. He killed 5 probes and also delayed the Nexus a little bit, lost a bunch of mining time for ShoWTimE. So, very impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
Showing why he's a GSL runner-up here.
Absolutely. I mean, ShoWTimE looked very strong at the start there. I think it was a misread on his part as well, right? Like we have to talk about how like Creator did a lot of things right and did the distracting right, but also ShoWTimE kind of like failed to account for DTs completely as an option. So I mean, he had the robo, so maybe not completely, but mostly, right? Like he had the robo for the Immortals. And I think he was mostly stable outside of that one timing, right? Like if the Void Ray was there, he's fine. If the shield battery finishes, he's fine. Next warping, he's probably fine. So again, a very narrow window of time there where he got leapt on, and great decisiveness from Creator.
Yeah, kudos to him. Let's see if he's going to be able to keep it up in game 2 here on Royal Blood.
Royal
Blood. We dive into the game.
Well, it says classic versus ShoWTimE for some reason on my overlay. How do I change that?
Whoa. That is a good question. I think the refs might have messed up the the lobby setting. Oops.
Oh well. Definitely not classic we're watching here. In the bottom left hand side of the map, it is Creator.
And on the bottom, on the top right side of the map, playing for Berlin International Gaming, it is ShoWTimE.
It's ShoWTimE.
Big.
Berlin International Gaming. I feel like they really forced the I onto the name there, right? To make it big.
What?
It's like let's make the tag big. So we need a word with I, and they were like international. Someone else was like, but we already have Berlin in there. Does it really make sense to name it after a city and then say that it's also international? You know, like Pitbull vibes there.
I wonder what else they could have used though.
Berlin Invincible. Nah, Berlin Invictus. And there's already one of those.
Yeah, I guess
Infamous.
maybe they really thought about it, and this is the best.
Yeah, maybe they
The
did.
best there is.
It's quite possible. The players also have thought about their openers and decided that this is the best there is after 12, 13 years. No ramp means double gateway at the top of the ramp. No ramp to the natural, that is, yeah.
This is the legacy of the Void. Special has been for a while. Map with no ramp. You go for 2 gateways. Just allows you to be a bit safer or aggressive depending on what you scout. The question is, units? Stalker, 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 you think?
Yeah, this time around I'm feeling it. Oh, it's gonna be adept stalkers and adept adept.
Interesting. So we're talking about the adept yesterday. And we're like, okay, this is something you don't see very often. Sometimes, or most of the times, it's something you pair with Stargate because it gives you extra gas to get to Stargate really fast. But yeah, interesting to see here.
They can also be paired with, as the Stargate goes down, they can also be paired with a War Prism very quick. And then have some sort of follow-up, right? So that, because usually the shades are not gonna, the first couple of shades are not gonna be able to find much at all. With that said, Classic retreats from the natural base of ShoWTimE without even dropping a pylon whatsoever. I'm not even sure that he knows that there is 2 adepts out.
Well, he is about to find out as the Stalker runs into 2 adepts. He can try to kite it all the way through. Probe is already in position to wall the main. The question is, does ShoWTimE suspect the adept buff of Creator to go into his main?
Yeah,
and it would be pretty big if he got the scout off.
Could kill a probe or 2 as well. Here comes the adept. 2 stalkers are gonna be on its tail, so maybe just 1 probe will go down. Good micro from ShoWTimE to save potentially both. That probe tried to be microed into the gas, but already had a gas, so it could have been killed. Instead, Creator goes for one of the probes in the crack. Very difficult to micro out of that situation, and does get a probe for his efforts and the scout that he was looking for.
Well, he actually didn't scout the Stargate with the...
Oh, what?
Yeah, he has no vision.
That's crazy. Well, here come your boy, the Oracle.
Indeed. But it looks like, actually, this... Even though he didn't scout the Stargate, he kind of suspects it already, because the follow-up is actually good against Stargate-based plays. Already starting the proxy gateway. So, I think, yeah, the game sense definitely coming into play here. He suspects something. Already preparing his Stalker counter-attack. Shield battery in position.
Shield battery definitely in position. So yeah, this Oracle poke not gonna amount to anything, Daiejo. Go on.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say 2 adepts is kind of a tell, you know. But question is, at what point do either of the players take the natural here? I mean, ShoWTimE is super afraid, of course. Did he see that actually? I don't know if the shade gave enough vision that he spotted the pylon. No, it didn't.
He is making an immortal regardless, so he will have that. Creator just finished Blink, so he might be enticed to push on further, but there is no base to contest this here, so this is an awkward situation. I like that that it's Creator who expands here first, as he does have map control, and that's his one advantage.
Yeah.
And ShoWTimE needs to find the ground to get his own map control. The Stalkers looking to trade and blink back. Do get a Stalker for their troubles. Only 2 of them bruised, so great micro from Creator there.
Indeed, good start here by ShoWTimE. Just being pretty safe overall. He's going to start a shield battery right away. He's not going to take any risks. He even has the option of starting a stasis ward in Creator's main. if there is not enough stalkers to defend. But Creator also being really smart about it. 2 sentries, 3 stalkers in position. Already preparing his follow-up with a robo. Pretty good stuff so far.
Yeah, so we have, I mean, kind of like map control favoring Creator due to having that blink. It allows it for his stalkers to be out on the map and not be caught by anything. ShoWTimE a little bit lagging in terms of tech, but does and has had a small economic edge this entire time. Creator will be faster to his natural base, so we'll see his economy spike just for a couple of seconds before ShoWTimE catches back up and passes him again. So the longer this goes and the more stable ShoWTimE gets, if Creator isn't able to use his map control to maybe get a faster third or poke with his stalkers as he's looking to do with his hallucinated Phoenix and get some damage, should favor ShoWTimE. But this is the kind of damage that he needs to do. It's a very narrow margins here. So even just the 2 probes will cut those margins in half or even less to where both players are now actively even in terms of economy.
Yeah, he also gets 2 adepts out on the map and spots the Warp Prism, so he knows what ShoWTimE can do, and he should definitely be ready for it. Even ShoWTimE already preparing his Observer to get some map control, but it feels like it is Creator who is all about that map control right now, as ShoWTimE still has about a minute until his blink finishes. So good start for Creator. I think that was the pick-off that he needed to kind of like get the edge in the game.
For sure. So he definitely holds a small edge here as the hallucinated Phoenix once again looking for opportunities to blink into the main, but with an Immortal and a few Stalkers now parked there, very unlikely that Creator will find any damage. So these Stalkers are just gonna sit outside. And once the blink is completed for ShoWTimE, oh, poor ShoWTimE actually gets his Observer snipe before he can snipe the one of Creator. Shield will be taken off of the Immortal, and Creator might have to concede map control, but he does find that third that we were talking about as a result of having had this map control for a little bit. So ShoWTimE's gonna be right on his tail, but for the most part, Creator holding the small edges here in this game, just a little bit faster to detect in the transitions.
Yeah, this actually just shows how brutal it is to not have blink in this mirror matchup while your opponent does. It's just so oppressive, the things he can do against you. And sometimes if he's able to blink into the main with 4 stalkers, he can just start one-shotting probes left and right.
Yeah, we're gonna see an attempt of that right now, as ShoWTimE did leave his main undefended, and that's gonna be one-shotting probes on the side of Creator. At least ShoWTimE does find a carving here where the shield battery is not yet done for Creator. If he can manage to get this third cancel, and he will, I don't know who this exchange favors, as ShoWTimE did drop his third, so he will have the advantage on that regard. And while Creator kills some more workers, ShoWTimE had produced a few extra, so he's not going to be too hindered by that. And yeah, I think I like ShoWTimE's position better on the back of that exchange.
Yeah, I mean, even though he lost 7 probes, he did force a recall and cancel the third base, so it might have been worth it in the end. The question is, can he hold this push from Creator coming across the map with 3 sentries with a lot of energy and 2 Immortals? I think he can.
Yeah, I don't know. The sentries are kind of dangerous here, especially for the Immortals. I like the stasis here, but there's no shield battery yet done. And I mean, the sentry's kind of wasting their energy there. I think that you have to anticipate that Blink will be ready at this point, and you have to look for those Immortals to be pushed forward with the sentry energy. If you're going to use the sentries to your advantage at all, it has to be the Immortals. Miss rally here from ShoWTimE consistently on those probes.
Yeah, he is going to try and fix those the rally points, which he does now. Look at Creator, he's actually trying to power up the gateway he made at the beginning of the game. He also brought in his Warp Prism just in case, but if he does lose the Warp Prism, it's still not game over for his reinforcements. And look at that Oracle that we forgot about from the beginning of the game.
Nasty.
7 probe kills on it instantly, from 0 to 7 at the 9-minute mark.
Very, very beautiful. So Creator now angling to take a different angle onto the base of ShoWTimE, choosing not to open up this area via killing the rocks. I mean, neither player really with charge slots to speak of, which is maybe the best case use for breaking those rocks. So in these chokes, I think it's a good idea to keep them with your Creator, given that you have the sentry energy here in your favor. Now ShoWTimE with sentry energy and the better concave build might have something to say, as one of the Immortals of Creator nearly gets exposed enough to get force fielded in, but ShoWTimE not gonna seize or see that opportunity perhaps, as Creator continues to push on forward now with only energy for one more force field. So it is ShoWTimE that has the positional advantage in that sense, but it is now Creator with a better natural positional advantage in the choke that the Nexus of ShoWTimE creates. So ShoWTimE is going to try to breach out and break out with the help of this shield battery overcharge. The final force shield is used effectively to section off one of the immortals of ShoWTimE, and ShoWTimE, kind of shy to take the engagement on the left-hand side of the map, is going to make it so that Creator just has an overwhelming advantage in terms of numbers here. The Nexus will fall, and there's no shield battery to save that, and now Creator, I mean, I don't think he needs to do anything more. He might be able to push on forward if he wants to, but already holding all the cards.
Yeah, I mean, Creator really pushing that +1 weapon upgrade advantage combined with the large number of stalkers. Big stasis fort might buy ShoWTimE some time as the Oracle does continue to deal more damage, but still, Creator has a third base, ShoWTimE doesn't, and the army advantage is just way too big. That was really good by Creator. Very strong push, and I feel kind of bad for ShoWTimE, who I'm not sure if he should have given up the ramp so easily and let him walk up and take that powerful position.
Right.
But it looks like he does pay dearly for it, as I don't see any ways for him to come back.
Yeah, very difficult. And I was thinking about that, right? And ShoWTimE was anticipating that the attack would come from where the units are now, from the left. So both of his shield batteries were facing towards this area. So I think the decision that he had to make was, do I hold the ramp with a better concave against a greater number of units, or do I retreat back to my 2 shield batteries and my potential overcharge, right? But you couldn't have both is the problem. If he had one more shield battery that was a little bit more far forward, covering the potential for entry into that ramp, I think we have a much easier hold on the side of ShoWTimE, but not to be this time around. And yeah, I mean, unfortunate for him, but Creator will take a decisive, very powerful 2-0.
Yeah, and destroying both of our predictions.
Destroying both of our predictions as per usual. So
and yeah, convincing. I mean, I guess we shouldn't have doubted the GSL runner-up so much.
Yeah, indeed. It's not classic. It was Creator. I didn't choose it.
Yeah, it was just a bug in the lobby. It was unavoidable, but it's all right.
Yeah, I didn't choose it. Okay, it was the admins. Unnamed.
But yeah, as we move on, I think there will be 2 more matches in the Group B, but those will be only in the B stream and the main stream. So we will only see you back for the Group C matches, which should be in about an hour and a half from now.
Okay, so we're taking a longer break now, Tayejo?
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll
cool.
take a longer break, and then we'll be back with 3 more matches towards, in a bit.
That sounds good. Maybe we'll be back earlier, and maybe we can watch some replays or something and go over some of the games if people want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if the people want it, we gotta.
If the people want it, we gotta give what they want. But I don't know what they want, to be honest. So it's up to you. If you guys have ideas, if you guys want us to analyze or go over any of the games so far that we have casted, yeah, we can do that in a bit, as we'll have a little bit of time to kill. Otherwise, chill, and we'll see you in a while. But yeah, let us know. We'll be watching the chat.
You love it, you wear it.
You love it, you wear it. Dayejo.
Catch.
Okay, I'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, your microphone is muted.
Oh, that's so very sad. My analysis was really cool. But yeah, so good blink here from ShoWTimE as well to the right, like to try and make something happen, try to take an isolated engagement, but it's just simply not enough, and then he decides to retreat, but that's going to be at a cost. He already spent his blink, so less micro available for him towards the tail end of the engagement, and yeah, just bleeding some units on the retreat as well. So Creator with this superior positioning manages to close out the game. I'm so sad I was muted.
You guys missed out on some great analysis.
Oh wow.
But yeah, the summary and the summary of what we just said is ShoWTimE, by giving up that ramp, he gave up the only defender's advantage he had, really. And maybe just by not fanning out his units a little bit more, he could have force fielded the ramp, actually, and maybe secured it a little bit longer. He just needed to buy a little bit more time to get a few more warp ins and secure the ramp more easily against Creator, and he would have actually won the game that, to be honest, should have been his. It was really not supposed to be a ShoWTimE loss here, for sure. Just
yeah, I didn't think so either. Also, you mentioned during the game the upgrades, right? Like Creator did have an advantage on that front, so great job from him to look for the options to capitalize.
Yeah, for getting +1 for ShoWTimE was really unfortunate as well.
Yeah. For sure, you think he forgot?
I think he forgot, because he had the forge for quite a bit. He had the forge for like a hot minute or so before he decided to start the +1 attack. And it's not something that's too expensive that you want to start otherwise.